Are you someone who is focusing really hard on your diet so that you can improve your digestion and gut health and then eventually overcome eczema, dermatitis, and psoriasis? If you're going about healing your skin by focusing on digestion and gut health, you are on the right path for sure. The problem is you gotta check in with certain foods. There's a lot of foods out there that are deemed as super healthy foods when they actually might be destroying your gut health. In today's video, I want to talk about cruciferous vegetables, things like kale, cauliflower, broccoli, cabbage, things of that nature. Are those foods good for reversing skin disease like eczema, dermatitis, and psoriasis, or should you avoid those foods? Are there ways to eat those foods that allow you to reap benefits from them, but not some of the problems that may occur from cruciferous vegetables? Do I recommend cruciferous vegetables to people that have eczema and dermatitis and psoriasis? Stay tuned. In today's video, I'm going to be talking cruciferous veggies. I would go so far as to say that cruciferous vegetables, when eaten non-juiced, are an eczema trigger straight up, period. The anti-nutrients, especially the lectins and the fiber, the type of fiber that's in cruciferous vegetables is extremely hard for the body to break down. Haven't you ever noticed that when you eat broccoli or eat raw kale, or cabbage does this big time when people eat it raw, you eat it and when you poop it out, it looks exactly the same. That means there has literally been no assimilation or digestion from those foods. So I don't really know too many kids who enjoy eating cruciferous veggies. When I was young, I absolutely hated those foods. As I started introducing a lot more healthy plant foods into my diet to reverse my skin disease, I tried to allow myself to get used to those flavors, especially with broccoli and cauliflower and kale. I've always just hated those tastes. Little by little, eating them more and more and learning how to flavor them, I got to a point where I could eat big amounts of those cruciferous veggies, and I was doing so, especially early on in my recovery from skin disease. Every time I was eating the cruciferous veggies, I was getting extremely bloated, and then the next day my digestion felt really, really wonky. The problem is, I had heard so much good healing things about things like broccoli, kale, and cauliflower, and cabbage and Brussels sprouts, and all the cruciferous veggies are supposed to be so healing, especially for the lungs, the nervous system, and the digestion. And as I ate more and more of these vegetables through my 8 years being plant-based and vegan, I realized, now looking back and also during that time, that I was naturally, or in a subconscious way, avoiding cruciferous veggies. Reason being is that they actually have some nutrients that make it really hard to properly reverse skin disease because of how they negatively affect your digestion and your gut health. Let me explain. So when you've eaten cruciferous vegetables, or especially if you've baked them or been in restaurants where they make like baked Brussels sprouts, there is a pungent smell that comes from those foods when you cook them, when you bake them, when you eat them, when you chop them open, when you prep them or prepare them in any way. It's a pungent smell. It hits you in the face, especially Brussels sprouts. And that pungent smell is the smell of sulfur. Sulfur being released, sulfur being alchemized. Now, sulfur in plants definitely can help human bodies heal certain things. Sulfur is not a totally negative thing, but when your sulfur is way elevated, and when a plant has a concentrated amount of powerful sulfur smell and energy, it means it's a defense mechanism for bugs. Plants are trying to stay alive. They're trying to spread their seeds and they're trying to grow. They don't want animals like humans and bugs eating them. So they have a defense mechanism. They use the sulfur pungentness to get rid of bugs and to drive them away. That pungentness that destroys and kills bugs and deters animals is also a deterrent for humans. It does not really do well for human beings as well. So the sulforaphane is what the sulfur is, and literally on a cellular level, it can go into insects and bugs and small animals and start to really just pull them apart, destroying them little by little. It's like a microbiome type of issue. So the two areas that sulfur really screws up is your enzymes and your mitochondria. And if your enzyme production is messed up, then your digestion, your assimilation, your gut health is going to be thrown off in a major way. Having symptoms like severe bloating, really smelly gas, diarrhea, constipation, or a combination of those things does show that the food that you're eating is really not affecting you bad at all. If you're someone who eats cabbage or eats kale or has a kale smoothie or some broccoli or cauliflower and you're experiencing these symptoms, you are definitely having the negative effects from those vegetables. When your epithelial lining has holes in it or isn't really balanced and secure and things are leaking through it, that's the actual definition of leaky gut. Things really shouldn't go through that. We all know what leaky gut leads to: destruction of the skin. So I've never really been a big fan of cruciferous vegetables, and I definitely do not recommend eating large amounts of cooked or raw cruciferous vegetables if you're suffering from eczema or any other skin diseases. I would say avoid them 100% altogether. Now, there are some ways to use those plant foods, especially cabbage. Cabbage is a really awesome food for healing the gut. The problem is you have to juice it. And if you juice cabbage, you can really get a lot of healing benefits out of it, but you still have to be ultra careful with cabbage juice. Cabbage juice, if you're gonna start drinking it daily on a regular basis, I say don't take more than 8 to 16 ounces at a time. Make sure you add a little bit of lemon and cilantro into it because that helps the taste. It also helps transport it. It also works as a heavy metal cleanser and a blood cleanser, and it does some stuff with the epithelial lining to protect what the sulfur issues could do. So mix the cilantro and the lemon juice with it. My second favorite thing to do with cabbages is sauerkraut. Ferment some cabbage and you got yourself a pre and probiotic goodness, gut bomb deliciousness. What I like to do with this is cook with some of the juice and use a little bit of the kraut in there for flavor. And then I usually like the sauerkraut to be raw. This stuff isn't, but I'll drink it a gulp, 3 gulps, sometimes 8 ounces every single day. And that's a much better way to use cruciferous vegetables than eating them raw or even eating them cooked. Now, I do actually have quite a few clients, and I've worked with quite a few people that can eat broccoli cooked, cauliflower cooked. They have no gas, they have no issues at all. They feel great on the food, and I think it always comes down to a very personal thing. Just because my data, working with 900 plus people who have eczema and dermatitis and psoriasis and rosacea, listening to their stories, seeing what they do to have their recovery happen, and what role does the cruciferous vegetables play in the majority of the people I work with who heal? It plays no role. They generally will take it out. Some of them are doing cabbage juice and that's about it. But as far as my super successful clients and my success with skin health came from pretty much not having cruciferous vegetables at all. Maybe here and there randomly, but not on a consistent basis, except for me, cabbage juice with the cilantro and lemon added to it. It is ultra important when focusing on reversing skin disease to understand that there's gonna be some experimentation that you're gonna have to go through. And the biggest thing that you're gonna have to learn how to do is to create awareness around your own body and the ability to not focus on what the skin is doing because it's gonna tell you false things all the time. But focus on the biomarkers. Your biomarkers are gonna tell you if you're moving in the right direction or not. And your biomarkers are your sleep, your morning woods, your hormones, your sex drive, your ability to be clear, your overall energy, your body fat, your weight and weight loss, your muscularity, the things that make your body run. Check what those things, how much are you pooping? How's your digestion? If those things are slowly improving, you're moving in the right direction. If those things are all over the place and your skin is all over the place, you got to make some changes. And I think that one issue that I see a lot of you guys making out there is you're staying in the cleansing phase, phase 1, way too long. 4 months is about all that you would ever need to cleanse for the most severe eczema cases, the ones that have had eczema since birth. I'm talking your focused phase 1 cleanse. Once you hit phase 2, you're gonna see really easily whether your body is liking a high carb, low fat, plant-based approach or it's gonna need a gut health approach. It's gonna tell you. So take your time, make sure you're doing what your body needs, and if you're eating a bunch of cruciferous vegetables and you felt like your progress has been crappy or slow, just remove them all together. And I think it's totally cool to remove any food that you have fear of when you're going through your recovery process. That's what I did. I stuck to the foods that I knew worked for me at that moment, and I stuck to them. It was boring, it was very minimal, but it worked. And that's the most important thing. Are you guys getting results? And if you're not, check in with these things. Check in with this. If you're not getting the results that you want, are you eating a lot of cruciferous vegetables? Check in. Anyway, guys, we are going to move forward with our next skin focus group coaching course. You can find out the details for that one at holistichealthactivation.com. On Instagram, I've been slacking like crazy, and I want you guys to go check out my Instagram anyway to help me get the ball rolling again. Generally, I do like 3 to 5 posts a week. Last week I did none. It was like first time ever in a week I did no post. Focusing on some new content and some new offerings for the skin health community. It's been taking up all of my time, so I've been slacking, but I promise I'm gonna get a lot more information there. Please go check it out. I'd love to connect with you there. It's a growing community on Instagram as well. Our skin health community is awesome and growing and beautiful. Open-minded, wonderful people focused on sharing the rituals and protocols that actually work so that you guys can heal your skin too. If you're looking to get a hold of me to become a private client, to have me lead you through the process of reversing your skin disease, I would love to aid you in that. There's a consultation. No, there's actually not a consultation. There's a link for the consultation in the description box. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. I'd love to hear from you guys. How do you do on cruciferous vegetables? Do you eat them and have trumpet booty? Are you good to go? Do you feel any negativity from cruciferous vegetables? Anyway, guys, if you're new to this channel, remember to subscribe and share. And if you're old to this channel, remember to hit the notification bell. Much love. I will see you guys really soon with more videos. Peace. Bye.